My special guest, of course, is Frank Marino. Frank, I've known for nearly 10 years now, I think, Frank, since we first met each other. And it's always been a mystery to me, the way that you guys are able to perform every night. How many shows now?
Have we performed total?
Yeah.
God, for the first 15 years, we did 3 shows a night. So if you had a 15
stopped
years,
counting.
Yeah, I stopped counting. But probably way more than any other show on the Strip.
Right. How did this all begin for you, Frank? This seems a very strange profession for a young man to get involved in.
Well, like I mentioned in my book, my original goal in life was to become a medical doctor. And while going to school, I was working as a junior pharmacist in a pharmacy. And I guess, how the large pharmacies have the makeup counter up front? I guess I spent a little bit too much time at the makeup counter as opposed to the pill counter. And learned how to, the representatives would come in and show you how to use the makeup that you had to sell, blah, blah, blah. I was really interested in that, and I was able to sell the product because I have the gift of gabbing. Right. And the ladies would come in, and I'd show them all the new techniques, and they absolutely loved me. So for Halloween, I dressed up as a woman one year, and met an agent who was booking female impersonators, and one thing led to another.
My goodness. And let me ask you this, though. Going from just a makeup counter assistant to that of a female impersonator is a major jump. Did it just sort of happen overnight, or were you performing before this agent got hold of you?
No, I had not performed yet. The agent wanted to send me out on bookings as a female impersonator, and I was thinking, well, who could I do that would be, fun? And in the wedding and bar mitzvah circuit that I was working, who would be a good character? And I picked the character Joan Rivers because is that going to screw you up?
That's live entertainment.
Judy Garland must be here. I'm channeling her.
Oh, okay. That'll work. Not to worry. Where, Frank? Where did it all start? Where was home?
Home is in New York, Long Island.
All right.
And it was a strange profession for somebody to go into from Long Island, New York.
Absolutely. And the first show you did was Joan Rivers? So you've always been Joan Rivers?
I've always been Joan Rivers. I started one time doing Diana Ross, but the makeup got a little difficult, so it went right into Joan Rivers quite quickly.
We assume that all female impersonators are gay. Is that a fact?
Over the last 20 years that I've been at the Riviera, I've met a lot of female impersonators that were also married. Lots of them had children. So I guess I'd say the majority are gay, but it's probably a myth to say that they're all gay.
Right. So in other words, to be a female impersonator, you don't have to be gay.
Right, absolutely not. No,
it's not a prerequisite.
Exactly. It's not a lifestyle they're promoting. It's a form of art.
Right. And in terms of the development of the art, I mean, it's gone now big time, big business. I can tell you the most, I guess, moving experience I ever had was in Sydney, Australia. I went into a nightclub up in King's Cross. Have you been to Sydney, Australia?
I've never been to Australia, but I'm thinking of going next year.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. Well, Marlene, no doubt, will take you. But I went in, and there was a group of entertainers. I was not aware of the fact that they were female impersonators. And I was incredibly moved, without being too graphic, on seeing this gorgeous blonde that appeared on stage. I'm trying desperately to think of her name, but it escapes me for the time being.
A famous star?
Well, a fairly famous impersonator of that time. And I felt sexually attracted to this gorgeous woman. And the psychological blow for me when I later discovered that what I was getting all emotional about was in fact a man was quite tremendous. You must get a lot of people in the course of your work and the peoples that you meet that are amazed at the fact that, such a guy who's as good looking as you has not found himself a female partner.
What are you saying? That another woman has wanted to?
Well, I mean, you're such a good-looking guy. Apart from being a very beautiful woman when you're made up.
See, the women want me, but not for the fact that I look good. They want me because they want to double their wardrobe.
Well, that would work. talk to me a little bit about wardrobe, Frank. It's so much a part of what you do. Um, who does all your costumes?
90% of the costumes that were in the show are done by the designer Bob Mackey,
Okay.
who also, people out there probably would know him from designing with Cher and Carol Burnett and,
Right.
the big Diana Ross.
Sure.
So, since I changed 17 times and I wear such elaborate costumes, he was the right choice for us to pick in the early days to start doing them. And ever since, he's been the designer that I choose first. I do have other designers, but he's the majority of them.
And is he based here in Las Vegas?
No, he's in California and in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what's the extent of your wardrobe now?
Well, you know what? I've kept every piece that I've ever had from day one, so I have a lot of it in a warehouse and stuff. But one day I'm thinking of doing a retro show, actually, and bringing out the old gowns from, the 80s and the 90s. Styles have changed so much, you don't realize it until you look at them. But I've kept them all. A few pieces have, gone on the wayside and I threw them out, but other things are in museums and stuff here in town. But I do have most of the stuff, so I have hundreds and hundreds of gowns.
I would have thought so. Where do you work? Do you work apart from here at Lacage? I mean, you've been in Lacage. Lacage has been here how long? How many years?
We're in the 19th year.
Okay.
We're one of the longest running shows. I am the longest running headliner. A matter of fact, I got in the Casino Hall of Fame with that title, the longest running headliner, and probably one of the youngest headliners right now.
Right.
Just turned 40.
Oh my goodness. This week, I believe.
This week, just turned 40.
Congratulations, fantastic. I guess the show attracts people from all over the world, and your book has been extremely successful. It's my pride and joy. I have my personally autographed copy, which I'm very proud of, and I have copies that I've sent out to Australia and to various other people who've come here from around the world. You settled in Las Vegas when, Frank?
19 years ago, I came here for the show and came on a 6-week contract and have been here ever since.
You weren't the headliner then, I
presume? I was always the headliner.
Oh, were you really?
Yes.
Okay. And what other characters do you play apart from Joan Rivers?
I have tried every character in the world, but I do Joan for a little bit in the opening of the show, and then from there I just do my own female persona. Yeah.
Right. And that's obviously been very successful for you.
And I did that because I was afraid Joan Rivers' career might go with the wayside.
Right.
So lucky enough, hers has stayed up there with her new TV shows. But
I want to talk more about Joan Rivers in our second segment. The cast of the show comprise how many artists now?
There are 9 artists that do about 2 characters apiece, so we have about 18 stars in the show per night. Yes.
And the show is what, an hour, just over an hour long?
I'd say an hour and 20 minutes.
Hour and 20 minutes. And it takes you how long to transform from male to female?
I'd say about 45 minutes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, we're going to be back in just a minute. My special guest is Frank Marino, and we'll be back in one moment. My special guest tonight is Frank Marino, who of course plays Joan Rivers in one of Vegas's or if not the longest running show in Las Vegas, La Cage at the Riviera. And we're very privileged to be backstage and enjoying Frank's company in his dressing room as he transforms from male to female. The Joan Rivers story, Frank, has always been very fascinating, and it's one, of course, that you play on stage. What exactly happened with Joan? I understand that there was a bit of, conflict is the word, in the early days?
Yeah, well, the way it started was, the way I got in La Cage in the first place was I was impersonating Joan Rivers and went to see her perform in Atlantic City. While there, she told me about a show that was opening up called La Cage, and they were using the Joan Rivers character, celebrity character, as the MC. I had auditioned for the show, I went down the street and ended up getting the job. I got the job for the Vegas show. Little did I know that when I got to Vegas and I was playing one hotel and she was playing down the street in another, that her husband at the time, Edgar, would find it too close for comfort and decided that since I was using some of her comedy material to present me with a lawsuit.
Wow.
unless I took all her material out. At the time, I'm a 19-year-old kid with no experience in writing jokes. I was just an impersonator. That it was kind of difficult. But we weathered through it. Since then, we've become good friends again, and really, our friendship went full circle.
Okay. I love the gag that you use on stage where you said you were just a little bit short of
Oh
the...
yeah, I said she sued me for $5 million. Thank God we settled. I'm like $80 short.
Right. I love that. Has Joan been in to see the show?
Joan has been in numerous times to see the show. She's a good supporter, and now everything's great. And I've been on her television show many, many times when she has her TV shows.
Right.
So she's a good sport about it these days.
And what about the other artists in the show? Who are some of the other people that are featured in Lacage?
Different stars that have being portrayed in the show are everything from Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, Whitney Houston, Madonna, Cher, Celine Dion, Vegas' own Celine Dion.
Right, fabulous.
And then we have nostalgia like the Judy Garland, the Liza Minnelli for Broadway type stuff. So it's a little bit of everything for everybody. And then we're putting newer stars like Jennifer Lopez and Britney Spears, and we're updating. So when we first opened, we had people like Marilyn Monroe and Anne Margaret. And nowadays we have people you never heard of, like Celine and Madonna.
Well, Celine is just mind-boggling. And Celine, I believe, also does Cher.
Exactly.
Right, the same entertainer, the same artist. The new faces that come and go, I said, just the one Lacage? No, I remember seeing Lacage, your show, or rather your production, in Aruba.
Right. We had a show in Aruba, like a sister show.
I saw that, I think, 1998.
Oh, did you go? Did you actually
yes,
see it?
I actually went.
And then little shows open all over. We were in London for a while. I'm hoping one day we get to go to Australia.
Yeah, that would be fabulous. I know they love you. So right now, this is the only Lacage running?
Right now, it's the only Lacage, the legitimate Lacage running.
Because I remember some time ago, did you actually switch artists from the one show to the other, back and forth?
Well, when we had
days?
two shows, we'd have some characters move there and some come here only to keep it fresh because we like to keep changing it for the audience. Since we've been here so long, we want people to be able to come back. And we do get a large repeat business.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, do you want to know how many times I've seen the show? Have a guess.
You know? You know how many?
I do, yeah.
80.
You're very close, actually. 64.
Really?
So 64 times. So I can literally do most of the artists' lines now.
Oh, there you go. Well, now I know I could have a night off.
There you go. I'd be happy to stand in. In terms of the show, to what extent do you have to rehearse now?
I rehearse probably every night while I'm on stage. So I try out new stuff. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then, I take it out. Right now with Michael Jackson being in the news so much, of course, I'm working on Michael Jackson stuff, Kobe Bryant, and next year with the election, it might be some political stuff. So it's always changing.
Okay. That's good. As I've watched the show over the years, there's been a number of favorites. Whoopi Goldberg, I loved. The Sister Act number that you used to open the show with, that was great. And I was blown away by your opening act a few nights ago. Jennifer Lopez,
right.
Am I correct?
That's our newest one.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. So hard to believe. But I do recommend that anybody who's not seen Lacage take that opportunity to come along and enjoy the program and the show.
I appreciate that.
It's just
a lot of fun. It is.
Oh,
Forget about me. There are other kids and everybody in the show. It's a fast-moving, up-pace, upbeat, something to laugh if you're having a rough day.
I don't think any show that I've enjoyed in Las Vegas has been more entertaining, and that's what keeps me coming back. I mean, it's the variety and the constant entertainment. In terms of the other artists, are you a catty crowd to get along with? I mean, I love your opening gag about everybody shaving in the same mirror. I don't want to give away the lines, but did they all get along well?
Yeah, you know what? When you're working that close with a group of people, 6 nights a week, that you really have no choice but to become close.
Right.
Plus, if you don't get along, it's going to be really difficult to be backstage. So, I'll be honest, like any place, there's probably days where certain people don't disagree with the other people, but as a whole, everybody's, really cool.
Yeah. How long on average would an artist stay with you?
Some have been here for many, many years. Some come and go and they travel to our other shows, and sometimes the character gets passé or something like that, and we take it out. But for the majority, I'd say average is a couple of years.
Right. And where do they go? To what extent is their work in this line? Can an artist be pretty well assured of a lifetime profession?
Well, I've
if they're
had, like I
good?
said, people have come in and worked for a couple of months, and then we've had somebody like myself who've been here for 20 years. So it really just depends on how far you can take the profession.
The impersonation that you're doing. Okay, well, we're going to take another little break to give our sponsors a break and invite you to come back and join us in just a moment. My special guest is Frank Marino on the world of unexplained mysteries, and we're looking at the mystery associated with the role of female impersonator. Nobody does it better than Mr. Frank Marino. We'll be back shortly.
Each night the men look so surprised. I change my sex before their eyes. Tell me if you can, what makes a man a man?
You're watching Vegas Mysteries, and we're the special guest of Frank Marino backstage at La Cage at the Riviera. Frank, of course, is in front of the mirror and preparing for his entry on stage as